हेलो गाइज, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल विराज एक्स। मैं आप सबका दोस्त विराज माविन कट्टी आप सबके लिए एक नया ब्लॉग लेके आया हूँ। फ़िलहाल के लिए मैं अभी VTU यूनिवर्सिटी में हूँ, जहाँ पे आज बेलगाम में दैट इज़ 23rd एंड 24th बेलगाम एंटरप्रेन्योर समिट हो रहा है। मैं उसी लोकेशन पे अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए खड़ा हूँ और यहाँ पे अप्रॉक्सीमेटली बेंगलोर और आई थिंक बेलगाम से 12 एंटरप्रेन्योर्स आए हैं, जहाँ पे दिल गाइड टू द यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स कि आपको बिज़नेस कैसे करना है, आपको हर्डल्स कैसी आती है, आपको कैसे उसको टैकल करना है। ये हर एक चीज़ आपको वहाँ यहाँ पे सीखने मिलती है। आज के दिन नॉर्मल डिस्कशन रहता है, जहाँ पे ये लोग बताएंगे कि इनको जो प्रॉब्लम्स आया आपके लाइफ में, वो जब वो प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे तो आप उसको कैसे सॉल्व कर पाओगे। और कल एक पैनल डिस्कशन है, जहाँ पे BSc के जो ओनर है, हिज नेम इज़ मृणाल बंकापुर, ही विल बी देयर विद दैट आई थिंक। और एक जो बंदा है, ही विल ऑल्सो बी देयर। आई हैव जस्ट गॉट एन इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट ही इज़ VRL, जो अपना विजयन ट्रैवल्स है, उनके ग्रैंडसन है। आई एम नॉट श्योर, बट स्टिल आज का जो सेशन है उसको पूरा मैं कवर अप करता हूँ, जिसकी वजह से जो यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स है जो आपके घर में है, भले ही वो पास हो फेल हो, डजेंट मैटर, दे शुड गेट टू नो कि यहाँ पे ये हो रहा है। और अगर वो गलती से नहीं आ पाए तो उनको पता रहना चाहिए कि इस पैनल डिस्कशन में या फिर यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है। तो चलो इस वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। लेकिन उससे पहले अगर आप नए हो मेरे चैनल पे तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर देना, क्योंकि इससे मुझे एक प्रेरणा मिलती है कि हम लोग मैं कैसे इसको और अच्छा कर सकूँ वीडियो को। तो चलो इस वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। सो दोस्तों, ये VTU का कैंपस है, छोटा सा कैंपस है, बहुत बड़ा है वैसे, लेकिन हम लोग अभी जहाँ पे हैं ये बेसिकली डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम ऑडिटोरियम है। तो इस जगह पे यहाँ पे रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है और यहाँ पे जो आपको टेंट्स दिख रहे हैं, मतलब इन्होंने जो छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाए हैं तो वो इस पे इन्होंने डिस्प्ले किया है। पहले आपको आके यहाँ पे रजिस्ट्रेशन करना पड़ता है, आपको ऐसा एक बैच मिलता है। यू बी स्टूडेंट और इफ़ यू डोंट बी अ स्टूडेंट डजेंट मैटर, लेकिन आपको यहाँ पे रजिस्टर करना पड़ता है। सो जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे रजिस्टर करते हो, आपको यहाँ पे एंट्रेंस पे थोड़ी चीज़ें देखने मिलती है। तो चलो उसमें का एक दो चीज़ें हम लोग देखते हैं। सर क्या है ये बेसिकली?
सर ये सोलर के ऊपर चलता है सर।
सोलर के ऊपर चलता है, ओके।
मिल्किंग मशीन है सर।
ओके।
शुगर केन जूसर है,
ओके।
और ये रोटी मेकर है सर।
ओके।
कड़क रोटी में बनाते हैं सर।
सो बेसिकली आपकी कंपनी कहाँ से है?
सेल्को सोलर लाइट प्राइवेट लिमिटेड सर।
कहाँ से?
हेड ऑफिस बेंगलुरु में है सर।
ओके।
मानतेश नगर में ब्रांच ऑफिस है।
आपका बेलगाम में भी ब्रांच है?
ऑल ओवर कर्नाटक का 50 ब्रांचेस है सर।
ओके। सो ये जूस मेकिंग मशीन है, मतलब गन्ने का जूस बनाती है, इससे आप दूध निकाल सकते हो। और
डेयरी फार्मर्स रहता है ना सर।
हाँ, डेयरी फार्मर्स के लिए ये बहुत यूज़फुल है। और ये आप रोटी बना सकते हो ऑन सोलर, इसको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की ज़रूरत नहीं है, आप इसको सोलर पे भी बना सकते हो।
120 ग्लास का कैपेसिटी है सर।
120 पर डे 120 ग्लास बनाता है, और उसके ऊपर चाहिए तो
चाहिए तो वो बनाता
अपग्रेड करके देता है। ओके।
है, डिपेंड अपॉन कस्टमर बेसिस सर। आपको 120 ग्लास उतना ही बस तो 120 ग्लास रेफर करते हैं। 220 200 तक चाहिए तो वो अपग्रेड करके देता है। सोलर पैनल और बैटरी उतना ही आपका।
आपका नाम?
आनंद।
आनंद,
नागालैंड।
थैंक यू। हाँ, और ये क्या है?
ये सोलर मोटर है सर।
ओके।
सोलर का 12 वोल्ट का मोटर है सर ये।
ओके।
ये सोलर के ऊपर ही चलता है सर। इसको सोलर पैनल और बैटरी कनेक्शन रहता है। ये पैडल रहता है सर।
ओके।
तो सिलाई करते वक्त ये पैडल प्रेस किया तो ऐसा रन होता है।
तो अभी जैसे कि रेनी सीज़न शुरू हो गया है, तो रेनी सीज़न में ये चलेगा क्या?
हाँ चलेगा सर।
पक्का? थैंक यू। सो सेकंड जो स्टॉल है, दिस इज़ बेसिकली फॉर फार्मर्स, जहाँ पे फार्मर्स को क्या यूज़ होता है ये भाई साहब बताएंगे।
जैसे कि जो फार्मर्स होते हैं, अगर उनका एग्रीकल्चर में जो कुछ भी यूज़ होता है, जैसे कि अगर उनको कोई एक नया ऐसा मशीन बना रहे हैं और उसमें उनको हेल्प चाहिए होता है, तो फिर हम टेक इंक्यूबेशन के थ्रू, सेल्को फाउंडेशन के थ्रू हम उनको सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करते हैं। जैसे कि अगर यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे हाइड्रोपोनिक्स का सिस्टम है।
ओके।
मतलब एक ऐसा फोल्डर होता है जो कि सिर्फ पानी से तैयार होता है और ये कैटल्स को दिया जाता है, बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें हाई न्यूट्रिएंट्स होता है। तो ये हम लोग 1 वीक के अंदर हम लोग इसे 3 कैटल्स के लिए तैयार कर सकते हैं।
ओके। तो दिस इज़ व्हाट आपने एक छोटा सा स्ट्रक्चर बनाया है।
ये हाइड्रोपोनिक्स का चीज़ है जो कि सोलर ऑपरेटेड होता है।
ओके।
जिसमें कि बाहर से ग्रिड की इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है और वो 1 वीक के अंदर तैयार हो जाता है।
ओके।
जो काफ़ी यूज़फुल होता है, उससे क्या प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाता है। जैसे कि अगर गाय को दे रहे हैं तो जो गाय 8 लीटर का दूध देती थी, ये हाइड्रोपोनिक्स देने के बाद वो 10 लीटर तक दूध देती है। प्रोडक्टिविटी में इंक्रीज होता
20 to 30% इंक्रीज
है।
होगा।
यस यस।
जी, आपका नाम?
मेरा नाम राजकुमार महतो।
धन्यवाद। बेलगाम से हो या?
नहीं, हम बेंगलोर से आए हैं।
ओके
बेंगलोर हमारा हेडक्वार्टर जो हेड ऑफिस है वो बेंगलोर है, जेपी नगर में।
ओके। बेलगाम में इसका कुछ छोटा सा शॉप या फिर एनीथिंग?
शॉप नहीं,
यूनिट?
धारवाड़ में जो है हमारा अक्रॉस कर्नाटका हमारा 3-4 जगह पे ऑफिस
अभी
है।
मतलब
रीजनल
बेलगाम
ऑफिस
के
है।
बगल में, मतलब इट इज़ इन धारवाड़।
धारवाड़, यस।
धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू।
सो बेसिकली ये जो आउटलेट है दिस इज़ ऑन टोटली अकाउंट्स, मतलब आप क्लाउडिंग वगैरह जो भी करते हो तो उसके बारे में ये जो दीदी है ये जानकारी देंगी। बताइए।
Hello, it's Nidhi Kasturi. I am working in Alpha Accounts Private Limited. We do cloud accounting. We provide complete accounting solution right from the registration till the audit service. We work for US and Canadian clients also. We give services for foreign accounting as well as Indian accounting, from the report generation till the GST and TDS filing.
ठीक है, आपका नाम?
निधि कस्तूरी।
बेलगाम में आपका ऑफिस है?
यस, बेलगम में बैक ऑफिस है फर्स्ट गेट के पास, और
Okay.
मेन ऑफिस हमारा पुणे में है, हेड ऑफिस।
हु इज़ द ओनर ऑफ दिस?
ओमकार मराठे, ही इज द CA and CPA.
ओके,
ही इज फ्रॉम बेलगम एज वेल।
थैंक यू।
वेलकम।
तो इसके बाद जो अपना नेक्स्ट काउंटर है दैट इज़ ऑन सरोस एरोस्पेस। सो बेसिकली ये ड्रोन्स बनाते हैं, लेकिन उसका जो पूरा जानकारी है वो अपने सचिन पाटिल भाई देंगे। बोलिए।
नमस्कार, मैं हूँ सचिन पाटिल। मैं एक सारस एरोस्पेस का एक एम्प्लॉय हूँ, और ये जो हम पूरा टोटल 22 एप्लीकेशंस के ड्रोन हम बनाते हैं।
Okay.
तो जैसा ये है जो सर्वे के लिए यूज़ होता है।
ओके
जैसे ये दूसरा वाला ये स्प्रेइंग के लिए यूज़ होता है। जैसे पेस्टिसाइड जो स्प्रे करते हैं फार्म में, तो उसके लिए ये ड्रोन यूज़ करते हैं। उसमें भी अलग अलग कैटेगरी, हम चार अलग अलग कैटेगरी है। उसमें जो रहेगा 5 लीटर का, 10 लीटर का, 16 लीटर का और 30 लीटर का। तो बेस्ड ऑन कस्टमर रिक्वायरमेंट हम उसको इंटीरियर करके भी देते हैं। तो इसमें कैसा, इसमें भी कैमरा का सेक्शन है। तो इसका पेलोड कैपेसिटी 1 kg।
इसका कैमरा किधर है?
कैमरा इधर इसका कैमरा का सेक्शन है, इधर देख सकते हो आप, ये कैमरा है।
ओके, नीचे की
हाँ,
तरफ?
नीचे की तरफ। तो नीचे की तरफ फेस करता है, तो इसमें रहेगा कैमरा। तो ये 1 घंटे में 2 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर की एरिया कवर करेगा।
2 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर
की एरिया कवर कर, मतलब अराउंड 500 एकड़ होगा।
Okay.
तो वो तो पूरा का पूरा एक फ्लाइट में, मतलब 1 घंटे में क्लियर हो, पूरा का पूरा कवर होगा। तो उसके बाद कैमरे में जो हमको रॉ डाटा मिलता है, तो रॉ डाटा में उसको प्रोसेसिंग करके हमको एक पूरा का पूरा जैसे इमेज मिलता है, जैसा हमको गूगल मैप पे जैसे मिलता है, ऐसा कि मिलेगा, पूरा का पूरा मिलेगा। तो इसके लिए मतलब जिधर जिधर डेवलपमेंट करना है ना, तो डेवलपमेंट की जगह ऐसा पूरा सर्वे होता है, गवर्नमेंट का प्रोजेक्ट आता है, तो उसके लिए ड्रोन सर्वे के लिए ड्रोन यूज़ कर सकते हैं। ऐसे जैसे ये है, ये वाला जो ड्रोन है ये पेस्टिसाइड स्प्रे करने के लिए यूज़ होता है। उसके बाद में जो सीड जो ड्रॉप होते हो, जो सीड ड्रॉप के लिए भी ये ड्रोन यूज़ होता है। उसके फर्टिलाइजर स्प्रेड करने के लिए यूज़ होता है। इसमें स्प्रेडर आता है, ये टैंक के नीचे वो स्प्रेडर बैठेगा, वो स्प्रेडर वो पूरा का पूरा मतलब स्प्रेड करते जाएगा। जो भी हम क्या भी यूरिया फर्टिलाइजर जो भी रहेगा, वो हमको एक मतलब पूरा का पूरा स्प्रेड होता है उससे। तो उसका अलग अलग कैटेगरी है, मतलब टैंक मतलब कस्टमर रिक्वायरमेंट जितना रहेगा, जितना लीटर की टैंक चाहिए, उसके हिसाब से वो ड्रोन पे रहेगा।
बेलगाम में आपका ऑफिस कहाँ पे है?
हमारा सावगाव रोड बेन्नाली में है।
सावगाव रोड,
सावगाव रोड
बेनाली।
अगर आप गणेशपुर की साइड से आ जाओगे, तो जो आपका सावगाव बेन्नाली के आगे आप सावगाव रोड आएगा, उधर
गार्डन कोर्ट
के पहले सावगाव रोड इधर से जाओगे, जरा अपना अंगड़ी कॉलेज है ना, अंगड़ी कॉलेज से मतलब 1-2 किलोमीटर की मतलब नज़दीक है। उसमें स्ट्रेट आके राइट में जो
ये बेसिकली बेलगाम की कंपनी है?
बेलगावी की कंपनी है।
और बनाने वाले को क्या नाम?
उसका नाम राहुल पाटिल है।
ओके।
तो राहुल पाटिल जो हमारे फाउंडर है, तो आज कुछ इनकी अलग मतलब मीटिंग थी इम्पोर्टेंट, तो वो मीटिंग के लिए गए।
आप आए?
मैं आया।
धन्यवाद। सो बेसिकली जैसे कि आपने देखा कि 4-5 यहाँ पे जिन्होंने अपने आउटलेट्स लगाए हैं, तो उसके बारे में मैंने आपको जानकारी दी है। और ये अंदर जाने के लिए आपको जगह है, जहाँ पे BSc ने भी इनको, मतलब कल उनके जो ओनर है तो वो आने वाले हैं, जिनका नाम मृणाल बंकपुर है, तो ही इज़ ऑल्सो कमिंग। सो चलो हम लोग पहले अंदर जाते हैं एंड लेट्स सी फंक्शन कहाँ पे क्या क्या चल रहा है।
So with these few words, wish this Entrepreneur Summit a grand success. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, other dignitaries of VTU, invitees, industry friends, student friends, and budding entrepreneurs. कभी कभी ओपनिंग बैट्समैन होना काफ़ी दिक्कत होती है. It's also an opportunity when you look at yourself as an entrepreneur, because then the Maidan is open to you. If somebody has already played, then you have a lot of responsibility. So being the first speaker for the day is sometimes a blessing. We are fortunate that we have VTU in Belgaum. The kind of initiative, the transformative initiatives which have been launched, I am very happy. I would only urge on behalf of the Confederation of Indian Industry that we have a Belgavi District Council here which needs to be strengthened, and VTU can support us and collaborate with us to do it a great way. All the industrial fraternity will be open through the Confederation of Indian Industry. So the plans on mentorship, the Industry Institute panel which we have at the state level, all can collaborate, and we can bring a lot of good to not only entrepreneurship but the students at large from various sectors across India. We had the National Council meet of CII in Delhi recently, and we had a very intense interaction with all the bureaucracy, right from NEP to industrial development, whatever we want to do. So let us make use of the presence of CII in Belgaum. So on behalf of CII, that's all I would like to say, and thank VTU again for doing all the good work they are doing for the education sector at large. Now friends, when I was talking to Santosh, what am I supposed to speak? He said, sir, you speak your experience. Then it is very easy for me. I will just share few snippets which I have experienced why startups fail and why startups succeed. I am not talking only about failure stories, but you will be able to relate what I am trying to say, and whichever appeals to you, if you are trying to be an entrepreneur, then please note that particular thing in your mind. Now, first and foremost reason is we do not know ourselves. We try to jump into a thing without knowing what are our strengths. When I say we do not know ourselves, if you ask me personally, I do not understand head and tail of finance, though I am a businessman. It's all looked after by my colleague who is expert in finance. My strength is not finance. If I realize that, then probably I don't try to become a manager. Most of the entrepreneurs fail because they try to become managers. There is a distinctive difference between businessmen and entrepreneurs. You have to decide what you want to be. Businessmen will always talk about only profits, and entrepreneurs will talk about 3 P's: people, planet, and profit. How is my business impacting people around me, the planet around me, and then comes the profit, which is of course required by every business. So I have nothing against generating profit, but we must also know why we are trying to generate profits. If I have to quote the example of Mr. Azim Premji, it's the Economic Times report. Not many people know about it. His daily contribution to the development of our country is 27 crore rupees average. That's philanthropy. That's entrepreneurship. No much no much publicity, but a massive work being done. And I would also urge VTU to collaborate with Azim Premji Foundation, and we can see what we can bring it to Belgaum through their foundation, because they are doing massive work in the education sector. I had an opportunity to meet the chief of Premji Foundation. Now, after you know your own strengths and weaknesses, it's very important to know your stakeholder and your ecosystem, because every business has a different ecosystem. Why most of the entrepreneurs fail is because we try to copy paste. Something which has succeeded in the manufacturing industry will be tried to be copy pasted in the service industry. Something which is worked in the service industry will be tried to be copy pasted in the travel and tourism industry. Doesn't work. The whole ecosystem, the whole needs and expectations of the stakeholders are all different. We need to know our customer. There is a favorite bank's term that you say KYC, but I would say know your stakeholders. You have to know your employees, you have to know your suppliers, you have to know your entire supply chain. Then we can manage our strategies around it. Entrepreneurship is very interesting. Then, most of the businesses lose out because they are not clear on the purpose. What am I up to? Why am I up to? And that up to is up to us. For somebody it could be 10 people, for somebody it could be a crore of people. What am I trying to do? We were given the examples of the great business tycoons of India. People argue so many things about Ambanis and Adanis and so much in the press. But as an entrepreneur, if we think, the level ground or the platform was open to everybody else. Why did everybody else not make use of the opportunity, and why could they do? Because they had a larger purpose. And unless all of us have that purpose in mind, coupled with our passion and backed up with our perseverance, success is not easy. The third reason why entrepreneurs fail is whatever people have achieved after 20-25 years, they try to achieve in 2.5 years. Will not work. You will only get irritated and frustrated. Consistency, perseverance and patience are three key parameters to me, because a lot of challenges will come. We call it as a pestle C scan. You can go to the Google and see what is pestle scan. The influences on our business, including political, social, economical, legal, environmental, that is called pestle C scan. And every day now they are changing in the dynamic world. How am I going to assess my risk? How am I going to align my strategies? And how dynamic I am. We have seen in COVID times, all entrepreneurs succeeded. The true entrepreneurs, so to say. Those who were not true entrepreneurs failed, because they did not have risk mitigation plan in place. But all those who could sustain the COVID wave in India are true entrepreneurs. And we have worked our businesses, because we manufacture industrial valves in our factory. And those are required for the boilers, and boilers go to the pharma industry. So it was a directive from the government that you come under essential category and you start working. So with all the risk mitigation in plan, we worked, and thank God we had no COVID calamity at all. So if you put your strategies right in place, with the right team, again, most of the entrepreneurs fail because they think I am superpower. Moment I start a business, I am the owner, I am the superpower. No, we are only a farmer of a business. The team is going to play. We are only captain of a business. Failure you will have to take on yourself. Allow the team to play. And that is where the knowledge of people is very important. When we talk of business management as a term, management is very easy. It just says management tactfully. If you know that art, how to management tactfully, you can have most of the top brains to work for you. Thanks to technology now, you can reach out to across seas, get the talent from wherever you want, and do your business. It's not very difficult. But if you do not know the knack of managing people and try to do everything by yourself, there is a miserable failure guaranteed. I know for sure one of the design managers, extremely intelligent in his engineering field, became an entrepreneur in Bangalore, and then realized that his business is not running good, so he called a consultant. Consultants are always good, no? Because they get paid for finding faults with you. So he went around the factory for 2 days, and then there was a concluding meeting, and he said, okay, now tell me, what is the problem? Why my business is not running well? And the consultant said, you are the problem. He said, how can I be a problem? I am the owner of the company. He said, that's the problem. You are only a good designer. You are not a good manager. You do not know how to manage your team. So you become a design manager of your firm will succeed. Now that's the secret of knowing people and building the team around us. Now I will give you some P's which are very basics. Okay. First P is the power of systems. It's very, very challenging to work in a systematic and accountable manner. We call it ISO system, we call it some other model system, but unless there is a system, there is no consistency. So right from day one, if you try to imbibe system in your business, I am sure that lays a solid foundation. It demands a lot of determination, because we have a habit of cutting shortcuts. And when we are cutting shortcuts, we are cut short. Okay. So don't do that. Second is the power of compliance. I was called here by the Ramakrishna Mission Ashram, and I said, Swamiji sir, I can't talk about Vivekananda because it was a youth convention, and they had studied Vivekananda more than me. So he said, you don't have to talk about Vivekananda, you have to talk about how can you do business ethically. I said, that's easy for me. Because we do. The power of compliance. Any government officer is welcome to my factory anytime without telling me. If you have that kind of confidence, you can focus on your own core purpose and core interest. There is a very famous saying, once you speak truth, it's the past. Once you speak a lie, it's future. So you need to decide. So if you are truthful and transparent with all the stakeholders, you don't have to worry. Success may come slow, of course. By cutting short, like looting a bank, you can get very easy money. But then that doesn't stick around long. So have steady growth is my second this one, but more is power of compliance. The third is power of collaboration and networking. We can't be sitting in our office and think business will happen. We need to socialize. We need to participate in events like this. We need to collaborate. Competition is required, but competition to me personally is always with self. How my competitor is better than me, it's good to know, but then we end up setting wrong benchmarks. What can I do better than yesterday? It will help me directly. So my way of doing business is, I don't look into beyond my compound walls. Within my compound walls, that is Bharat for me. And there is a lot of things still to be done after 30 years of business. So look for your own self and collaborate where you don't have strengths. Collaboration is a key, not competition. Networking is a key. Participate on social platforms. Participate, or we were just discussing, use LinkedIn constructively, not Facebook. Okay, because that's where business happens. Know how to use LinkedIn constructively. Participate in events like CII or any other industrial body where you will get to listen to the speakers and get even one sentence can transform your life. That's what happens with me. Because the moment I attend some, I start getting ideas. So that's where idea generation happens. The next, this one is why entrepreneurs again fail. We have the right product, we do not have the right presentation. We need to present ourselves to the correct audience. Social media is good, it's powerful, but it may not reach the right audience. I have so many startups in our own colleges. I am part of the Karnataka Law Society here, who have failed because they had a good product but did not know how to market it. I tried to help one or two of them and they succeeded. Not I am telling my credit, but they need to have a right mentor also, is what Sir also was saying. That is very important when you think of entrepreneurship. We try to innovate, we try to generate some products which were first of its kind. Our students fail to patent it. And we have an expert here from Bangalore who is into patenting. So make use of his knowledge. It's not very difficult now. But by the time we realize we have that product patented, somebody else in US would have already done it. Like they were trying to patent yoga. So we need to do that and protect our own tacit knowledge on which we have to do business. I visit many of the project exhibition in engineering colleges as a hobby. I see massive ideas which can be converted into business. But all the ideas die after the students get graduated because they do the project as a semester work, not as a business work. Phenomenal ideas. Now I have suggested to our college that we need to build a knowledge repository of all these ideas. If those students are interested, fair enough, but otherwise, how can we as an institution do it for the good of the society? A simple idea I will tell you. In our Gopte college, we had some students had done. It was called a tablet dispensing machine. They realized a need that most of the students of the young generation is abroad. There are old people at home. They either forget to take a tablet or mess with the tablet. They take a wrong one. How to help them? So they had designed a machine where you can feed the tablet for a month. It will give an alarm at that time and the right kind of tablet will be dispensed. They have to only take the tablet at that time. So that it is not forgotten, wrong one is not taken, health is maintained. That idea never got converted to a business. The students passed out and they may be somewhere else now. Now can we have a repository of such ideas and convert them to business either through that student batch or any other student batch? So that's what we need to do. So present these ideas correctly to the correct forum is my another suggestion. I will come to my favorite one last. Then you have to have a power of contribution. How am I contributing to my own society, my own country? We need not be standing with a gun on the border to be a nation builder. They are standing for us. Let us be worthy of them. Can I contribute to my nation through my business? As sir said, you are job providers. Once you provide job, 10 families sustain on you. But then we need to have that sense of responsibility that if I do mistake, 10 families are going to suffer because of me. Now if that happens, success is guaranteed. So we need to look beyond just the business profit. We also need to understand the power of celebration. Many enterprises do good, hardly celebrate success, or celebrate it so mechanically that चलो एक annual event करना है टीम के लिए. There is a very interesting question in the Gallup survey when it comes to employee engagement, which asks, has anybody in your organization appreciated you in the last 1 week? And most of the organizations I have visited as a business excellence assessor on behalf of CII, the answer is no. There is no appreciation system. We are only busy finding faults. That is natural. But somebody does something good, can we not give him a tap saying, okay, this was good, keep it up? Appreciation doesn't mean a reward or a monetary benefit or promotion or anything. It's just simple fact that, okay, I just appreciate. I saw a very good practice in Godrej in Bombay, where every week one worker is identified who is the best performer and is taken to the managing director's cabin, and he just gives a rose saying, okay, I have acknowledged your good work. Imagine the kind of motivation that blue collar worker will have. Otherwise you don't even get to see the MDs. The power of celebration. That is what will keep your team motivated and keep you successful. The last thing I will come to, the power of excellence. That's a dear topic to me. That's why I'm an assessor of excellence in CII. I learn every time I get into an industry. We are all into our nutshells thinking what we do is right. The world has gone beyond. It is not that we don't have talent. I was very happy when I was talking to the people in Toyota Bangalore that they said now the Japanese import from India. So we have all the right kind of skills in Bangalore. They have a training center in Bangalore. When they came to our college in Halyard, where we have an eco club, we were having a discussion. The first thing he asked is, what is the vision of your eco club? And very frankly, our people did not have anything called as a vision of an eco club. It's क्या करना होता है? जहाँ पेड़ लगाना है, पानी डालना है, maintain करना है बस. He said in Toyota Bangalore we have taken a vision to bring back the natural habitat back to the industrial campus. That's our vision. And each and every employee in Toyota works to fulfill that vision, and he says today even we have peacocks on the campus. Now we need to have a right kind of purpose, a right kind of vision, and that is excellence to me, that okay, if you decide, there is always a possibility to do better than what we were doing yesterday. Excellence is always dynamic. Excellence is never static that okay, I achieved this and I am excellent. No, tomorrow we will be outdated. Excellence is beyond financials, and excellence is beyond compliance. What we talk of standards as ISO demands compliance, and what we talk of excellence is beyond compliance. ठीक है, compliance तो है, उसके बाद में और अच्छा हो सकता है. You imagine yourself, why do you go to a particular hotel? As simple as that. Because something is better in them than the competitor. And that doesn't happen by copy pasting. So many people will try to copy paste my office decor, my product, my catalog, but they can't sell. Because there is something beyond all these physical things, which is your own talent, which cannot be copied. So don't worry about too many things. People come to my factory and ask, can I take photos? I said, okay, take it. No, you're intellectual, right? इधर कुछ intellectual वगैरह नहीं आजकल internet age में. Everybody knows everything if you are wanting to. Our hijackers know more than us in the age of AI. That's the age we are in. So where is the question of secrecy? And they cannot steal my intellect and my wisdom. They can steal my product, no problem. So don't worry about small things. There is a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. If you are interested, read. How do we waste time in talking about so silly things and forget the larger vision? So don't allow yourself to be distracted from excellence. Excellence, when it comes, I will quote an example from Dr. Subrato Bagchi. He talks in his book called The Professional. There is a person in Bangalore who came with his mother. He was a 7th standard or 8th standard boy. They started staying below the bridge in Bangalore. Mother used to do some household work and earn money for themselves. She got sick. Some NGO admitted her to the hospital and she died. And thereafter they did not know what to do with this lady or the dead body. So somebody said there is a boy who was with her, ask him. They called this boy called Ramappa, and he realized that there may be so many others like my mother who do not have a right kind of cremation being done. And he decided that I will cremate such bodies with grace. And today Ramappa, an uneducated fellow, does only cremation of such dead bodies. You know how much he earns? 5 or 6 years back when I read this and met Mr. Bakshi, it was 60,000 rupees per month. Our engineer's first starting salary is not so much at times. Why does he earn so much? Because the kind of cremation he does is much better than a family member will do. That is excellence. I should not be dissatisfied at the end of the day that I could have done better. That is excellence. Somebody else may be better than me, I should learn from them, that is okay. But I should not have a regret that I could have done better still. In any way, maybe it communication, maybe it presentation, maybe it product marketing, maybe it attending to a customer. We, at times, as I say, we compromise. ठीक है, चलो जाने दो. You never know who is bringing you a right kind of an opportunity. We just need to be sensitive to capture that opportunity, and with right earnest, we have to attend to everybody. Maybe it's supplier, maybe it's customer. Normally in our culture, we attend to customer very well. When it comes to a supplier, we are not very keen. वो supplier है ना, so he should behave as I want. अरे he is also a human being. He is your supply chain partner. If he fails, you fail, and that is realized by the Japanese. I learn a lot of things from the Japanese. I will tell you also an anecdote which happened in my factory and why Japanese succeed. Normally when people come to my factory, I take them around and 15-20 minutes is good enough. They say, oh, very nice. And then we sit in the conference room with a coffee and talk about business. A Japanese had come to my factory and I took him. Finally, I went to the conference room. I said, you come whenever you want. He took exactly 3.5 hours to look at my factory. When I say him, this is my horizontal boring machine, he will do a pradakshina to that machine. He will write down which make, which model, which year, what capacity, everything about that machine. He has written a 21-page report on my factory, which I have also not done. And then he said, now I am happy and I am ready to work with you. I said, what makes you? Very important, very interesting. He had visited 5-6 factories in India as well. I said, what makes you think that we are fit to you? He said, you are the only factory where I was allowed to talk. All the Indian factories I went, I was bombarded with their presentation information saying how they are good. You are the only one who listened to me and my needs. Listening to the needs of the next person is very important. Be it a supplier, be it a customer, be it an employee. Have that ecosystem developed such that people come and give you suggestions freely. There are ideas, no dearth of ideas. When we do excellence assessments, there is one graph we monitor, is the graph of suggestions going up year on year. Not only suggestion received, suggestion implemented. And that talks about the dynamism in the industry or dynamism in the organization, how open it is to receive ideas. And excellent companies are. There are good companies in Bangalore like Bosch. Again, they have a training center. It's worth visiting Bosch Training Center or Vishweshwara Training Center. Bosch has designed a program out of their CSR, which through CII we are bringing to Belgavi industry. It's called Samruddhi. The name of the program is also Samruddhi. A very, very systematically developed program with before-after photos, and only after is achieved, they will give a certification. Now that level of intense involvement, because they have mapped the entire skill gap of India. Why they have done that? Because they also need skilled people. That is what I would say is little 1% selfish interest. But 99% is how can we contribute to India. How many students will become age of 18 and above every year for the next 20 years? What will be the skill gap? And around that they have designed a program. And Bosch Training Center is open to share it with CIA. So we are now implementing that program. They also have a program called Bridge Course, which through our KLS Academy we are trying to bring it to Belgaum. But that is for skill building for students of 10th and 12th who have failed. but they are employable. So we build employability skills in them. Now all these things are available on the platform. We just need to capitalize on the opportunity. Don't get too much defocused rather, remain focused. Because many times we get carried away with somebody else's success or failure. I should know my road, that's all. And unless I know my road, I will be like in the Chandama circle, not knowing where to go. If I know I have to go to Bombay, then I know how to go. There is a very famous saying. I will say that and conclude maybe myself. I am a counselor, okay, hobby counselor. That also let me tell you. I counsel students for their career development. And I find many students getting into the wrong box because of the peer pressure or the parents' pressure. So now my job is to counsel more parents than the students. Because parents bring students to me saying, sir, isko vakil banne ke liye bolo. It's like taking a patient to the doctor and say, give this medicine. Doctor will give a medicine based on the patient's condition. So we as counselors also will advise based on the student's condition. But there I tell all the parents and students one thing, that if your train is on the wrong track, every station you will meet will be a wrong station. And that is what happens with our life and career. We just get carried away with computer science, BCA, or some kind of branch because other friends are going and we think that is success. That is not success. Know your strengths, play to your strengths, and then build success around that is my message. If you ask me personally what is the definition of success, it is only improving your usefulness day by day. Nothing else. When we go to a doctor, we don't ask the doctor how much marks did you get in SSLC for social studies or maths. That's okay. Marks was required then. But today when he practices, that is more important to us than his academic achievements. Academic achievements are important, I am nothing against that. But my message to student fraternity especially is, your marks card doesn't mean knowledge. It doesn't mean you can copy and get marks. What problem are you able to solve is knowledge. And we all as entrepreneurs are here to build our nation through our entrepreneurship, solve the national problems which are happening. I was recently in IIT Delhi, sir, and they have an industry institute manual. I will share through Harish that manual. They are already working on disposal of EVs. They are already working on reduction of charging time of EVs. We are talking of launch of EVs. They are much ahead in collaboration with the industry. And all those are going to convert into business. When we talk of sustainability, there is one word going on. It's not only financial sustainability, it is also ecological sustainability. We are now governed with something called as SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. Everybody must know that as an entrepreneur. Now all these things will come to a platform when you mix up on such networking platforms, learn about it. But please focus on all the 3 P's, people, planet and profit. Then there is no dearth. Keep growing. Growth is nature's law. If you see around you, everything in nature grows, but grows consistently. If we try to grow abruptly, we also fall abruptly. And we have the best of the minds in India. Unfortunately, many of them work abroad. But even if you take the case study of the recent cyclone in Kutch, they did a very beautiful thing. I don't know if you have read about it. They just cut the branches of the trees. They did not cut the trees and allow the trees to fall. They cut the branches of the trees, the cyclone moved between the road like a truck, and the trees remained. And these Indian brains can do. We many times call it jugaad. Okay? But jugaad is not always good. Jugaad is successful many times, helps us taking the risk, but jugaad is not always good. Systematic working is always good. So entrepreneurship to me, friends, is like doing a yoga. We do karma yoga. If you do with intense involvement, you do bhakti yoga. You need to have knowledge and continual improvement, you do jnana yoga. And through that you may experience Raj Yoga. So entrepreneurship is nothing but developing our own potential to the best of our ability to become what best we can be. This opportunity is not there for service people, because they might have a lot of potential, but their bosses may not allow them to grow. Here we are the boss, we have the freedom, and we have the opportunity to grow to our fullest potential and growing to the fullest potential without losing our balance is yoga. So please enjoy this yajna of entrepreneurship. And when we talk of yajna, it is all talks about sacrifice for the larger good. In yajna, we don't get back anything, we only do swaha. And entrepreneurship to me is a larger yajna, where we do a lot of swaha, a lot of sacrifice of family time, a lot of sacrifice of other enjoyments, but for a larger good where we have a sense of satisfaction that we are also nation builders. So wish you all the best. Any help required from the Belgaum industry, please let me know. I will try and collaborate and get to you whatever I can. Thank you so much. Thank you, organizers, for giving me the opportunity.
Okay. I've been principal 10 years for Jain Retail School. So the habit of asking questions has never gone yet. The first question to all of you, who would like to gift a diamond ring to life partner? Nobody would like to gift? Oh, gentleman, please. Stand up, please. Yeah, stand up. That boy, yeah, clap for him, please. So, why diamond came into mind? Yesterday, Modi ji has given to Mrs. Biden 7.5 carat. If he would have known earlier, hijack. Okay, great job, keep it up. 10 carats, huh? Joy Lucas. Who would like to go to Switzerland during honeymoon? You stand up, you were saying something.
हम गंगा जाएंगे.
But not with life partner.
I would love to go alone.
Love to be alone. Who has a dream to go to Switzerland? Please tell me. Once in life I should go to Switzerland. The guy with the spec. Yeah. Laddu बट रहे हैं स्विट्जरलैंड में. Stand up. Why you want to go to Switzerland? Tourism, or some Jyotish has told, Katrina Kaif might have told. No? Girlfriend in the night yesterday? Ajay sunte ho? Simple. Clap for him also. See, I'm from Indian Army captain. I got a bullet in left leg when I was just 21 years old. Coma in 6 months. My nose is slanting, teeth are duplicate, here blade marks, rod on the left leg. Life was over. And thanks to Vashpeji, when I recovered, he sent me to US as a raw officer, and I did my doctorate from there as a raw officer. Life was all about over, what to do, what not to do. Suddenly, long back I encountered Abdul Kalam sir in Mount Abu in Burma Kumari, and उसने सिर्फ एक ही बात बोला, मंजित, don't live living the dreams. सपने देखना बंद मत करना कभी लाइफ में. Whatever happens, so your God is there with you, your parents are there with you. So while working as a principal, my student is here, Mr. Yash Mane, and 2-3 I could see they were working here. 2015, I met one principal. 17 years he had done up and down to Raibagh. 17 years through train. And I asked him, now time of retirement, what you are getting and what you have earned. And he told 1 BHK house. Then I thought, something has to be done. I cannot live this life. And I started education in India. As on today, we have rejected 52 proposals of funding. We have rejected 52 proposals of funding from all the angel investors or venture capitalists or US-based companies. And as on today, the valuation of my company is almost 1,000 CR. Without a single investment from my pocket, we have built, and we are running 300 schools. Just only one thing, it was dream to go with my wife to Switzerland. Dream to offer her a diamond ring. Oh, even I gifted all the thing, but you know wife. Why are you laughing when you don't know life? You are all unmarried. People, first row must be knowing. So only as the speaker I would request ki look at the dream and live that dream. My office, I have multiple offices in India, is always open for you people. If your dream come to us, your project may not be good. We will give the correction, and we will be the first to invest in this part. Definitely. I have invested almost, in portfolio we have more than 70 startups where I have invested. I know that most of them will be failed even. But I trusted the ideas, and we are getting very good response. So I am not asking कि project बड़ा होगा, सपना बड़ा होगा, pitch बड़ा होना चाहिए, CH you should have company incorporation, GST. If you have an idea, please come, please approach us, we are there with you. Even if you are failing, we will never say why you are failing. हम सब गिरे हैं. When I remember when I got a bullet and I fell down in valley, and my CEO, Colonel Purohit, came to me. I was captain that time, and full of blood, my face and leg was completely. And I asked him the first question, "Sir, चेहरा तो अच्छा है ना अभी? Face is yet okay or not?" And he said, "Bloody idiot, you are full of blood and thinking about face." I said, "Yeah, the world knows me because of my face. This is truth. You go one day with having mask or full monkey cape, no one will recognize you. So your dream must be your face, ki this is my dream, and everybody who lives a dream like a face has succeeded in life." I'm quite follower of geopolitics, so when I follow this thing, ki why Modi ji has grown so big, because of the face value. The 140 crore was 130 crore in 10 years back. But what he has brought is trust because of his face. The first thing for a startup is your trust, your idea, your dream. यदि वो है तो कोई भी आपको रोक नहीं पाएगा. नेक्स्ट जो आपके बड़े बुजुर्ग बोलते हैं ना, पेशेंस रखो. Don't have any patience in the life. जुनूनी आदमी, चाहे कलाम साहब हो, चाहे वाजपेयी साहब हो, चाहे विराट कोहली हो, पेशेंस नहीं है. कछुए रेस जीतते हैं. The tortoise win the race in the jungle, not in the cities. Make it very much sure. We are taught this ना, horse and I think rabbit and tortoise something stories. Forest में है वो, cities में नहीं है. The time is gone. My father worked 30 years in the same company, and I asked, "What the hell you done in your life?" So patience, being cool, calm, forget about. सपना देखो और पागलों की तरह पीछे भागो उसको, जुनून की तरह. आज ही चाहिए मुझे. लोग बोलेंगे पागल है क्या? यस, पैदाइशी पागल हूं, खानदानी पागल हूं. हम नहीं सुधरेंगे, कोई इलाज नहीं है. The world has been changed by these leaders only. The best PM could be Manmohan Singh sir. Best PM could be Manmohan Singh sir. He could not succeed. पागल नहीं था वो. Trust me. The best captain could be Sachin Tendulkar. He led the captaincy because he was so sober. कोहली की तरह पागल नहीं था. If you read the literature, the famous poem written by Thomas Gray, the elegy written in country churchyard. You know what is elegy? Like we have love song, romantic song, love song of Arjit Singh. कलंक नहीं इस काजल है पिया, Same thing in literature, any poem written on death is called elegy. Since I studied this literature as a raw officer, because I was supposed to be there. So I read this poem. So what this poem says कि हर शहर में, हर कब्रिस्तान में हजारों एलेक्जेंडर्स है, नेपोलियन है, हजारों किंग है, but they never understand their value, potential, or they were never given a chance by the life. This is also a graveyard. यहाँ आप सब में टैलेंट है. You can be PM, you can be president, you can be scientist, you can be businessman. You want a chance by life, and education in India is there with you. You want anything, any support for higher education you are not able to give, we are there to support you. Without any interest, without having no payment. You live the dreams and we are there with you. But we will invest you also. With only one condition कि जब आपकी शादी हो तो इनवाइट जरूर करना शादी में, अच्छा सा प्लेट, रसगुल्ला, सलाद होना चाहिए. बहुत हंस क्यों रहे यार? And dream big. We are always there support to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
And the job was given to two companies. One in Bangalore who were basically using the standard APIs on HTML, and we said no, that's not the way because it's not still right. So we developed our own protocols. So we started developing our own protocols and we implemented them. We had, of course, we had lots of challenges in developing that software, making it trustworthy and things like that. It was good. It was, what happened was eventually our software sustained. Other people they could not take that load, the kind of a load. Actually, when university gave it to us, they were almost sure that this is not going to work. Not going to work. Okay, because we are not taking any standard protocol. We said we are going to build it ground up.
Most of the time it is all the pessimist attitude.
Pardon?
Most of the time it is all pessimist attitude.
Yeah.
Carrying with us.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm a kind of a grassroots developer. You give me any problem, I'm going to start from scratch. I'll start from scratch and develop it. So we had experiences like that. What are the side effects of that? See, one is the mass that I'm serving. That there are such a lot. Every year 2 lakh students go through that CD counseling software. Every year, in one sugar factory there are at least about 30,000 farmers, another 1,000 transporters, another 1,000 or 2,000 harvesters. They're all happy with that software, whatever tools we are giving. I would have given the same thing to American company or a Brazilian company. But what would happen to my own people? And I was working in Silicon Valley. But really, I worked in Silicon Valley. I worked in the Gulf. I worked for Saudi military. Actually, I worked for Saudi military. We did the atlas for the Gulf, topographic sheets for the Gulf. I'm an electrical engineer, but I worked in civil engineering. I worked in computer science. I worked in electronics. I have designed GPU accelerators. My students have done GPU accelerators. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Once you are a grassroots developer, you understand science, you understand the basic engineering, what actually happens in engineering. It doesn't matter what comes to you. You just have to attack the problem from the fundamentals and try to build the solution.
I'm
Yeah.
from Bangalore. I'm from this side, but I work from Bangalore.
Okay.
It's inspiring to know that you have settled down to Belgaum. To make it life-work balance, not work-life balance. To make it life ahead of this thing. I want to ask you specifically, you said to get started, you have to pick up something even as servicing.
Yeah.
India has been in service industry for the last 20-30 years.
Right.
That's why we are not doing a lot of value add. We are picking up I call it as a laundry job,
Correct.
IT laundry job.
Yeah.
How do you move from there to products? And how do you move from products to platforms? Today we talk about platforms, APIs, sir was talking about being ahead of the curve. So what do you suggest to the young engineers? Should they pick up the service, generate some income, and go into products and platforms? Please guide.
Yeah, great question. So, see, like, I'll take one example how it all started. Like, we do a lot of stuff for electronic warfare system today. A radar system, sending the microwave radars, and without shooting a single bullet, you bring down the drone, or you bring down the plane, or you bring down the satellite. There is what happens, how it all starts is, you can't build the product immediately because you need a lot of machineries. So when we started initially, we started as a service industry. Using the knowledge, we used to service all the existing tools and software plus hardware and repair and all that. Then you come to know the product portfolio, and then you come to know what are the machineries and equipments required to build that. That time, like, we needed a very high-end CNC machines, you need a grinding machine, you need a honing machine, you need a big electronic PCB manufacturing stuff, because nobody is going to give you and get it done the way in which. So then you start planning for the financing of that, how you will take the term loans, or how you will make use of it, or can you make a vendor available out of that and all. So you start putting up the machinery and all with one machine, two machine, and then giving it full-time job. And you have to move in the same system for a very long time. You can't switch. Like today, if you are traveling towards Delhi highway, in between you cannot change that I want to go to Chennai or Hyderabad. Means that is a journey. So you have to start that journey. You put an ecosystem, and then you come to a product, and then you come to a system, and you start adding value. So earlier we start in a knowledge is converted into service, you earn money, and then a product, then you add the ecosystem. That's how in Belgaum like place, hydraulics was always there from last 40 years. We were doing for hydraulic presses and like a JCB excavator. But doing any hydraulics for an aviation industry, for a space industry, building the sensors for the Mars mission and all, it took some time, like 7 to 8 years. So then you have all that ecosystem in place, and then you build the product. And then once you have the product and many machineries, equipment and everything, then you put a system in place. So it's a gradual progression happens. And accordingly what happens, if you are in the same industry, you started attracting the other industries. Since we started with the aerospace products, space products over here, ACUS came in. Hey, if this guy can do it, we used to have a lot of, why can't we build a larger ecosystem for the aerospace industry? Then it requires a AS 9100 certification, NADCAP certification. So all those industries come. When that came in, then another plating industry, servicing industry comes. So you migrate from services to the products to the systems, and then you excel to the next level. So this is the journey, you go through it. After that, once you have all the system, then you start with like Praveen, like AI and all the whatever the thing. And the most important is, first you have to pay your own salary first, then your employees. Next, you think of building the facilities and all. So this is how we started with 2 people, with now almost 400 people, and with the equipment in a garage to bigger facilities and equipment. That's how you put up and progress. But today you guys all have a wonderful thing of a startup, which we didn't have that opportunity. So you have the burn money, so burn it. Raise, value it, take out the money, and you have the freedom to experiment. So do that, and people are ready to give you money, all the youngsters, to burn it. So something definitely good will come out of it.
Yeah, you want to address
I'll maybe quickly add 1 or 2 points on that, because it's a good question. it's a very confusing state to be in, especially for startup entrepreneurs, product or a service, right? But if you see the trends across the industry, right, many product companies are trying to servitize their product, right? The as a service thinking that we saw with cloud happening in the past there, and a lot of services companies are trying to become products, right? And if you really look at it, we spoke of two technologies, right? Engineering technology, and we spoke of computing technologies. Computing technologies are today getting completely democratized. They practically, at the core. If you understand, if you see the technology trend you're seeing, a lot of you carry a mainframe in your pocket today. You carry an AI model running live in your pocket today on a smartphone, right? You're practically getting every complex deep tech at the edge in your pocket at near zero cost, and able to do very, very complex computation right at there in your pockets. Right? So the whole idea of looking at a product and a service and looking at how or where you should focus on can be fairly confusing. I'm not going to solve the problem right now, but I'm saying think deep about it because it's important. And your other question, right? If you look at being a good, strong offshoring company or a country for the global market, if you look at the problem space today, there's a lot of composable concepts coming up in the tech industry today. Right, you're able to take a small module of AI, block it, map it to the blockchain, map it to small IoT sensors, and my friend is creating a EV scooter here. Right, you can see a lot of composability thinking when you design a scooter like that. Right, now what is important is the problem space in the post-pandemic, post-digital world is also getting composable. Right, if you look at any industry segment, there's so many sub-components that you can look at and start focusing with a very bird's-eye view on those problem spaces. And how do you work on a composable problem, make a solution which is composable, and then start looking at it big. So your problems can be fairly easy when you start looking from that standpoint, right? The third point I want to give you is all our solutions in the past were targeted to solving Western problems. Right? We were paid to solve Western problems, we paid money to solve Western problems. Most of all Western problems are not relevant to us from an India context. Right? So when I look at India from a stack where entrepreneurs can develop and make an impact, right? The 5 trillion economy by 2027, sorry, the developed nation tag by 2047. These are very, very, very ambitious tasks. And when we start looking at solving India's problems using a product or a service, or developing modular products from an India standpoint, and multiple modulars can become a platform. That's a good question because in my earlier role, I built 2 large innovation ecosystems in both the Silicon Valleys, one in Bangalore in 2013, one in the Silicon Valley in 2018. My biggest challenge there was in terms of how you can leverage local strengths out there. And many of the local strengths that came out in 2013 were all based on the global or the Western problems. Right? I'm seeing a very different India today. Right? So looking at India today, EV sustainability, the agri-tech growth that we're seeing, the whole area around the corporate social aspects that we're addressing, how do you address soil problems, air problems, water problems, how do you increase productivity of the agri? So as India from a technology standpoint, I'm not talking of pure tech, we've been very good at it for centuries. Right? We've lost the way somewhere. We've forcefully adopted Western philosophies to solve Indian problems. We're going back to the grassroots. Look at problems from India's standpoint. Look at what can be transforming and leveraging our historical ways of solving problems. I think that would be a great way to look at how you can add value to the global economy, to the Indian economy, and then eventually to the global economy.
That's excellent.
In Tel Aviv, I found those 2 kids started and they clean up Tel Aviv Haifa and all that. It's like a unicorn over there, So the solution, whatever we think, we need to act, and the tools are there. Take those simple problems and start working. So the one success leads to another success leads another, and you build an amazing company, and people start this thing. That's why today a service like Vada Pav, you see so many restaurants are coming in Belgaum. I doubt sometimes there will be kitchens at home. When the architect designs, there will be maybe a tea, coffee studio only at home. No full-fledged kitchen, So this is how the solution builds, and that this thing has to come from the respective guy and build it. And the tools are available to support all that. Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
we can have entrepreneurs from all walks of life. People who, for example, Ray Kroc came up with McDonald's when he was in his 70s and when he was in his 80s, and that's how he grew it. So there's no age restriction for being an entrepreneur. Let's start off somewhere. Let's start off with you, Ms. Nikita, first. Could you please tell us a little about what you do?
Yeah, can everyone hear? Hi everyone. So it's pretty much a pleasure for me to be back here. I mean, seeing a lot of students is really nostalgic for me. So to your question, what am I doing? What am I building? Right? I think it has two parts. One is why entrepreneurship and why whatever I'm building, right? To the first part, which is why entrepreneurship, right? It was just an accidental coincidence. I'm an electrical engineer from NIT Calicut and sat in auditoriums like this to hear a lot of panel discussions. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would start something in business, right? So post my engineering, I was preparing for civil services for a couple of years. I grew up in the Middle East during my school days and always wanted to do something for India. A very mature thought back then. But post my engineering, while preparing for civil services, unfortunately or fortunately could not clear the exam for a couple of years, and entrepreneurship sort of happened by luck. But I think the space where this sort of serves sort of a sweet spot where I'm able to do something for the country, I'm able to explore myself beyond a regular corporate job. I guess I'm able to fight new problems every day, keeps me going, right? So that's a small part of why entrepreneurship, and why I said this is because what I want to put across is you don't need any kind of background. I don't come from a business family. I don't have anybody who knows business. My parents or everybody in my family come from a very regular science based background, right? So you don't need any of that. And like Dr. Uday was mentioning, all of us have engineering background. I think the fundamental thing that we learn is to solve problems, and I think that's the most important thing. Now coming to why Shopre and what we're building at Shopre. How many of you have probably NRI friends or families who come down to India and shop for loads of Indian stuff and go back? How many of you have seen that? Yeah, I can see a few hands up there. So, or there are NRIs who live abroad pestering you while you're in India to buy your favorite goods, right? So, my co-founder and I, both of us were such two pestering relatives who always wanted to have Indian goods shipped across to wherever we were. That was the starting point. On one side, NRI is not able to access Indian goods. And on the other side, if you're looking at the Indian e-commerce as a context, it started growing post 2012 at a terrific pace.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Maybe I'm part of the most difficult session out here just before the lunch. So I hope to, myself and Nikita, we hope to keep you waiting for another maybe 38 minutes. The digital clock says so out here. Yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer, and as Nikita said, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. And I became an entrepreneur during the era of like 1990s, when entrepreneurship was not such a big thing that the young engineers would love to do. That was the time when most of the engineers and most of my friends were joining, say, the software or the Y2K revolution that was happening during that time. But as I said, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I started with a small foundry basically. I'm not a metallurgist, but I'm a mechanical engineer. But I took to metallurgy as a passion, and I can call myself by education a mechanical engineer, but by passion I'm a metallurgist with more than 30 years experience in that. But apart from growing my business from a very small enterprise to an enterprise which employs more than 600 people, I love speaking to young minds, the students, mentoring them. But I come from more of a manufacturing side of the business verticals, because today we see there is quite a divide between, there are a lot of businesses which happen on the digital side, and I come from the hardcore manufacturing. That is where I come from basically.
सो दोस्तों, आशा करता हूँ कि आप लोगों को ये व्लॉग पसंद आया होगा। मैं यहाँ पे आके पूरा जो भी पैनल डिस्कशन है, जो भी जिन्होंने डिस्कस किया है, वो सब मैंने इसमें व्लॉग में कवर किया है। पता है 1.5 घंटे का है, फिर भी ये पूरा आपको उसका यूज़ हो सके, और जो भी यूथ है आपके घर में है, या फिर आपके कोई दोस्त है, या फिर आपके फ्रेंड्स के कोई बच्चे हैं, तो उनको ये वीडियो भेजो, जिनसे उनको जो कोई क्वेश्चन रहेगा तो उसका इसमें इस वीडियो के थ्रू उनको वो आंसर मिल सके। तो VTU में जब मैं आया था, मैं जब यहाँ पे हूँ, तो मुझे एक बंदा मिला हु इज़ एन इंस्टाग्राम इन्फ्लुएंसर, उसका नाम वादिराज है। तो
इन्फ्लुएंसर अनबैड्री क्रिएटर अंत
सो ही इज़ अ क्रिएटर। तो ये बेसिकली कन्नड़ा में वीडियोस बनाता है। तो 2 शब्द अगर कुछ बोलना चाहे तो बोल सकते हैं।
ಏನಿಲ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಹಿಂದಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೂರು ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಏನಾರ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಏನಾರ ಆಗೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಳಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಖುಷಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಭಾಳ ಮಂದಿ ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಭಾಳ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ. ಇದರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇವರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಏನೋ ಸಿಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತದ. ಈಗ ನೀವೇನು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಗಂಟೆ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಇವರು ಮುಂದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತಾವ್ರೆ. ಇವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಏನೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾ ಟೆಂಪಲ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಳ ಸೇರಿತ್ರಿ ನನಗೆ. ಇವ್ರ ಚಾನಲ್ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಇಷ್ಟ ಭಾಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಇವ್ರ ಭೇಟಿಯಾಗೆ. ಆತಲ್ರಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. सो बेसिकली इसका जो इंस्टाग्राम का जो लिंक है मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल रहा हूँ. फिर भी अगर आप सिर्फ वादिराज डालोगे, VADIRAJ, तो एक अच्छा वाला फ़ोटो आएगा DP में, उसको ज़रूर देखना. बट मोर ओवर इसका जो कंटेंट रहता है वो बहुत अच्छा रहता है, फ़नी रहता है, और यूथ को अच्छा भी, मतलब उसको मोटिवेट करने का भी काम है और हंसाने का भी काम है. तो इसके चैनल को ज़रूर फॉलो करना, पेज को. और जैसे इसने बताया, घंटी बजा देना. मतलब क्या है, घंटी बजाओ, पर्सनल जो भी आपको वीडियोस है वो आपको अप टू डेट मिलते रहेंगे. तो इसी के साथ मैं इस वीडियो को यहाँ पे अंत करता हूँ. कल इसी के ऊपर और एक पैनल डिस्कशन है, जहाँ पे BSc के जो मेन मृणाल बंकापुर करके जो है वो आने वाले हैं. तो उसका भी एक पैनल डिस्कशन का वीडियो मैं इसमें डाल रहा हूँ, वो कल आएगा. तो ये पूरा वीडियो कैसा लगा कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर बताना, कमेंट पूरा भर देना, और वीडियो को लाइक करने मत भूलना. विद दिस आई एम एंडिंग द व्लॉग. माई सेल्फ विराज माविन कट्टी. डू टेक केयर, राइड सेफ, बी सेफ. हरिओम, जय श्री राम, राधे राधे.